Hello everyone, this is Zagany333, and this is Dog Soldiers. It is a film from 2002. It is 1 hour and 45 fucking minutes, and it is action horror. So, what's this movie about? It's basically about a squad of soldiers in the Scottish woods and stuff, wilderness, and they're basically on like a routine kind of military thing, but that ends up getting fucked over by werewolves, by monsters, creatures of the night. So, let's get into this fucking awesome film. Let's go. So, I figured I would go with trivia first, because there is some cool trivia here. So, one thing that was really neat as fuck to figure out and find out, and another thing I'll mention is there is absolutely tons more trivia that is really cool. So, if you're a fan of this movie, or if some of that I already mentioned is cool, go check out the trivia and stuff, because there's a lot of cool things to learn about this film. But one thing is that some of the corpses that were used in this film are some of the same ones that were used in Event Horizon, crazy enough. So I guess there's a link there I didn't even realize. But yeah, there's that. Another thing is that Neil Marshall, which is the writer and director and stuff of this film, he was on his 17th or 18th draft before he was finished writing this thing. So that's how many times he had to write this fucking movie and stuff. That's crazy amount of work there. And it also took him apparently 6 years to refine the script and acquire financing for this film. So lots more dedication and stuff. And another thing I thought was neat is, I guess a lot of the crew are actually ex-military. So there's that as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, lots more really awesome trivia facts and stuff. So go check those things out. But let's get into a couple things before I go into spoilers and wrap it all up. So, what makes this one cool is I like how it takes its time in revealing the actual werewolves and stuff. For quite a while, you don't really get that. You get kind of, a kind of slower buildup and stuff before everything starts to get crazy. And that's another thing I'll mention, is that this movie in particular leans more on the action than the horror. But that's a good thing in this case, because it's another thing I put here, is that the action sequences are really fucking awesome in this movie. They're really intense. They're fucking cool. And what's also awesome is, it starts off in the wilderness and the woods and stuff, and then kind of moves towards this this home, this cottage and stuff, this isolated place. And it kind of reminds me of things from like Resident Evil 4 and stuff, because there's this awesome siege there. And that's where a lot of the cool action sequences happen. Because like throughout the film, they're just, trying to barricade and survive and everything, and there's stuff busting in. And that's another thing I'll mention, is that the werewolves in this, they're not just like mindless or anything. They're actually smart and they coordinate. So there's some cool things there that kind of set itself apart from like what you'd think of when it comes to a typical werewolf movie. But another thing I thought was really neat as hell is there's a piano tune that's played later on in the movie, and it's actually the same piano tune that is featured in The Evil Within. So I thought that was also really neat to notice that similarity there, that, like I said, connections to other really awesome stuff. And that is another thing that I'll also mention, is that this is pretty much my favorite werewolf movie. It's just really cool. Like I said, there's a lot of cool variation there. The werewolves are really smart and they work together. There's a few twists in the storyline and stuff that happen later on. Just the action sequences are really engaging and cool, because you basically see them going like, by the end later on in the movie, when these werewolves are tearing into the home, you see them pretty much like going room by room, busting through walls. It's crazy and over the top, but it's really awesome, really great action moments and stuff. So if you like, action movies that have to do a little bit with military stuff, but you also like werewolf things, then you'd maybe like this movie. But now I guess I'll go ahead and give it its rating before just going into some spoilers and stuff. And the rating I thought that I would give this movie is a 7.5, because yeah, it's a really entertaining, awesome, kick-ass movie. Because like I said, you're going to see just this house getting torn apart and people pretty much fighting. And it's just really cool with, military weapons and all kinds of shit like that. It's a really cool, neat movie and stuff. And at least to me, when I think of most werewolf movies, you don't really get that. You get kind of like I don't know exactly how to put it, but yeah, you don't really see it very often done in this way. So the way that this movie handles it in comparison to other werewolf movies and stuff, handles it a little bit differently. And I mean, even on the box, it says that it, kind of reminds you of Aliens, Predator, and stuff like that. And it kind of does, in a way, kind of reminds you of that, where, you have these werewolves picking people off. And just the way it goes about all those things is what makes it a really awesome film to watch. But all right, guys, let's get into the spoilers. So the first part that I thought here is in the beginning. There is a fucking moment where, speaking of pigs flying and shit like that, when pigs fly, a cow flies in this fucking movie because it is hilarious to see because they're like sitting there, the soldiers having their kind of banter and talk and everything. And then out of nowhere, a fucking cow just slams into the fucking ground in the middle of all of them. I don't know, I thought that was pretty funny, and there's some humorous moments in here that are pretty cool and stuff. But another thing is, one of the people ends up running into a branch and impaling themselves. And I swear, I don't know what movie I've seen that in, probably multiple ones, but I swear I've seen that happen in other features as well, but it was pretty ridiculous in this one. But yeah, another thing I'd put here is, like I said, it's really cool to see the werewolves like coordinating and working together, and like turning the lights off, for instance, and just the way they assault the home, and the way it kind of slowly, like I said, it goes from, in the wilderness and then finding out what they're dealing with and trying to survive, to getting into this home, barricading the home, and then, the werewolves finally getting into the home, and them going room by room, blasting through the things, using like flashbangs and stuff like that, and just tearing through this whole house from like top to bottom. It's just crazy, and using like whatever they can. I mean, there's this one sequence that I really loved when it's like a hand-to-hand combat sequence. It was really awesome. I think the character's name was Spoon. I just really thought that was a badass kind of addition as well. And it's cool action scenes like that are really well done, that make this movie so fucking fun to watch. Here's another thing. Let me see. Yeah, good action scenes and all that. And actually, funny enough, I think that I've basically covered everything. Yeah, there wasn't too much to cover here. It's, just a cool, fun little action flick with werewolves and stuff added. It's kind of a shame because I don't believe there is a sequel, but there was a planned, I guess, trilogy. And it's a shame because, yeah, it would have been really cool to kind of see more of something like this. Because, like I said, at least from my recollection, when it comes to most werewolf movies, they handle things, not in exactly a bad way or anything. But I just liked in particular how this one handled things and how it leaned on that really awesome kick-ass action and stuff. But yeah, I guess it's a short and sweet review for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope for any of you who maybe have heard this film. Oh, I'll mention one more thing that I remember. I remember watching some of this when I was a kid, actually, because at least here in the U.S., I believe it only appeared on Sci-Fi Channel. But back when it did appear on Sci-Fi, I was one of those people. That was where I pretty much first ever had heard from it, as well as a lot of other great movies that I may review in the future and stuff. Sci-Fi Channel used to be a really great channel for finding just really awesome, horror movies and stuff like that. And so that's why I also have fond memories of the Sci-Fi Channel and shit as well. But I thought I would mention that too. But yeah, now that is everything that I have to say. It's a really fun, cool film. If you like werewolf movies, but you like, some military stuff, you like really cool action scenes, and it seems interesting to you and stuff like that, then go ahead and give this a check out. It's really cool, worth your time if you like that kind of thing. But now I have to go, and I hope that you all are having a great, wonderful, amazing, kick-fucking-ass day. And this is Agony333, signing the fuck out. Have a wonderfully amazing day, everyone. Peace.